Shalom Chaverim. Wednesday night here in the district, 8 p.m. We had some storms ripping through a good part of the day, really localized thunderstorms. There was actually some localized flooding, serious flight delays at the airports, and just reminding human beings that we are not in charge, and that whether we consider it nature or an act of God, as some insurance companies mistakenly call it, but for whatever reason, sun came out, storms came, sun came out, storms came. Waiting for people to join me this evening. What are we learning about today? Well, the topic I picked is peace through Costco and cheap chickens. How can you beat that? Lots of things going on in the news. Assassination of 2 politicians here in the United States. Threats to the lives of other politicians. Israel and Iran continue. War. Gaza still is a problem. Africa, the situation continues to deteriorate. UN peacekeepers are not keeping peace. They're raping women. They're selling children into slavery. It's a shame and a disgrace that the UN is allowing this to continue. Lots of things in the news, lots of things going on. Let's start with the war, because that's paramount on a lot of our minds. And President Trump is still equivocating about the United States joining or not joining. I just want to put something out there. I don't agree with Netanyahu's policy in Gaza. I do not agree with Netanyahu's policy in the West Bank. But I do agree in a preemptive strike against Iran. For years on this program, I've been saying Iran is the enemy. Iran has been supporting terrorists that want to overthrow Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, other countries in the Middle East. Iran is a source of instability. And to let Iran have nuclear weapons would be beyond a mistake. Now, I know some members of our government have said, Iran is still 1 or 2 years away from having nuclear weapons. And some people here on TikTok have actually presented that as a reason not to attack Iran. That's exactly the reason why Iran has to be taken out and stopped. Negotiations don't work. They don't live with them, they lie. They fool the nuclear agencies, they say something, do something else. The threat and danger of North Korea having nuclear weapons, because if Iran gets nuclear weapons, they're going to go to North Korea. Because North Korea is supplying Iran with arms. North Korea is supplying Russia with arms. And then what will we do? We will be blackmailed. Yes, and Israel does have nuclear weapons. Israel's not threatening to use them. Israel's not threatening to destroy the United States. And so, again, to say that would validate something, it doesn't. Iran has made it clear. They want to destroy the United States. Not just Israel. They want to destroy Saudi Arabia. All the Emirates. All the Gulf countries. And if the only way to stop Iran is to stop them from having nuclear weapons, then that's what needs to be done. What does it mean? Have a relationship with God? That is a neat question, and I might want to come back to that about having a... Now, should the United States enter? That's a United States question. To stop something before it gets worse, we do it all the time. Your brakes start squeaking. Are you going to wait until your brakes fail and you have an accident and you die or you kill someone else before you fix them? You go see your doctor. There's a shadow on a scan and they recommend that you see an oncologist. You're going to say to the oncologist, I'll wait until I get cancer before I do something. Are you going to wait to fix the car when the accident happens? We're not going to do that. It's silly or ridiculous to even think you break an arm or a leg. Well, it's not so bad yet. I'm going to wait. No. This idea when something is that obvious, and Iran having nuclear weapons, they would then blackmail us. They would threaten. And we know they would do it, so we would give in to their threats. But if they don't have the weapons to threaten, then let them stop. If they're not going to use nuclear, stop development. Don't tell me it's for nuclear power. There's plenty of gas and oil in Iran. There's plenty of other resources, and solar, wind. There's plenty of resources. It's just not a good idea. And as I said, I don't agree with Netanyahu's wanting to expand Israel into other territories. And the fact that Israel doesn't have nukes, you believe them? I don't. And second, I don't believe our own government, not because of lying, but because in terms of international politics, you can't tell the truth, you don't tell things, you don't give your hand away in poker. Why would you give your hand away? And all of what we hear from the State Department are strategies to try to deal with Iran. And the fact that Israel has nukes doesn't change the fact that Iran is the enemy and Iran will use them. Not just against Israel, against us as well. Not everyone agrees, which is perfect and fine, because that's the point of tonight's presentation. Now, I've talked about, and you've mentioned things, none of us are in the Israeli parliament, none of us are in the House or the Senate, none of us are in local government. So, to vote on policy, we're not there. What we can do is to have talk with each other, meet with each other. And I'm offering this over and over again. Those of you who don't agree with me, let's meet in my Zoom room. Perhaps I'll listen to you and go, oh, you know what? Spot on. I'm not locked into my thinking. However, unless I actually hear something and not pot shots, not phrases that make no sense, no. What we really need to do is talk with each other. Be my guest. Co-host with me next Wednesday night. I'm offering it. Those of you who are putting things up there, I want to talk with you. And I want you to be able to talk to everyone out there. And so I'm inviting you to co-host with me. Send an email to rabbiblock@hotmail.com. We'll meet in my Zoom room. We'll work up a procedure. We can come up with questions we want to ask each other. And possibly doing a little bit of research or finding some things out. I'm inviting you. I'm asking you to co-host with me. Someone just asked, how do I convert? There is a procedure for converting to Judaism. I'd be glad to discuss it with you. Again, send an email. We'll meet in my Zoom room, and we can talk about the process of conversion. Okay, Alex just said, let's have a discussion. Okay, Alex, send me an email, and if you don't want to actually co-host, we'll meet in my Zoom room. I'll watch for an email from you. Then our solution is discussion, interaction, presenting each other's opinions so each of us can hear how each of us got to the position. And that is the solution. Human beings are really tribal. I don't know if it's hardwired, genetic, but if you look back at the history of humans, the goal was my village, my tribe, my town, and to protect and to keep the enemy away. And so since this is so much a part of us, we have to stop and override this feeling of everyone else is wrong but me. They're all idiots but me. If I don't believe in this religion, I'm going to an unpleasant place. If I accept your belief, I'm going to a pleasant place. Have to push these aside and say, let's start sharing. Let's not just pot shots. Not just you're good, I'm good, you're bad. And like someone just asked about accepting Jesus as the Christ. I'm keep repeating myself. Let's discuss it. It doesn't lend itself to one, a quick answer, and two, it doesn't lend itself to a one-sided answer. So for me to state something, then how do you respond in 5 words, 10 words? It's not fair. We're not being fair to ourselves. I'm 80. Someone just wants to know how old I am. Yeah. And no, I do not believe that Jesus is the Son of God. I believe that we're all the children of God, the sons and daughters of God. Now, what I believe, you can hold a different belief. I'm not challenging you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're going to a bad place because you don't agree with me. Someone asked what I believe. This is what I believe. And, Eric, it'll be perfect give and take to have a discussion of how I arrived at that conclusion, where it comes from, and proof texting, what does the Talmud say? What do other documents say? What are the extra biblical documents besides the Gospels? What's our proof and evidence? We can have a discussion. And do I believe in the Talmud? I don't understand the question, because the Talmud is rabbinic discussion. So it's nothing to believe in. You read it, you study it to learn, like you would with any sacred book, any document. Okay? And since the Talmud is rabbinic discussion, it says some very stupid things. In the academy, the rabbis recorded what everybody was saying. It's not Jewish law. It's not halakha. We're not required to follow it. It's not revealed by God. It's opinions and ideas during a particular period of history about Mishnah, about Torah. Just like if you and I are in class together and you write some things in your notebook that are stupid, and then I take it and write some other things, we pass it back and forth, and someone takes our notebook. You go, hey, Rabbi Block and Sydney, why are you writing that stupid stuff? So to point out something evil or stupid in the Talmud, all you're pointing out is somebody wrote down something stupid or evil. It's not binding. It has no meaning other than somebody wasted time writing it down. Just like you write in your notes, boy, this is a stupid teacher. This teacher doesn't know what they're talking about. Okay. So keep in mind what the Talmud is and what it is not. The Talmud is not Jewish law. It is not binding. It is rabbinic discussion of scholars. And that's what we use it for. And you read it and you go, this rabbi was off base. And I have no idea why they wrote down this rabbinic commentary, because it's not nice and it's meaningless. And that's it. I've mentioned about, someone said Israel and Iran, we're going through another terrible period, preemptive, trying to stop Iran's evil plans, and Iran has demonstrated it. Iran has said we're going to destroy Israel. Iran has said we're going to destroy the United States. Iran has said it's going to destroy Saudi Arabia. So make no mistake, that's what they're going to do. And it's time to draw a line and say, no, we're not going to do that. And other mistakes have been made throughout history. Doesn't mean we should do or not do. We have to look at each situation individually. Vietnam, we were sold a bill of goods on communism and Vietnam and how dangerous it was. And later, the people involved admitted that they lied. They made things up. And so, it's up to us to have discussion, not pot shots, not accusing someone of being stupid. And this is also why I bring up Costco. I've met some great people in Costco. And I've had some discussions, some things we disagreed on, and we just looked at each other and got, okay, yeah. I've helped people load water in their cart or the back of their car because a person was having trouble lifting it. I didn't ask them what religion they were. I didn't ask them what their sexual preference was. They needed some help. And I needed to know where a product was. And somebody was very nice to tell me, yeah, why not attack North Korea? You know, if North Korea starts demonstrating that they have the capabilities that Iran has, it might be time for a demonstration to slow North Korea down and to stop it. It might be time. But so far, with their testing and what they've done, they're not in that same position. However, Iran would sell nuclear weapons to North Korea. They would. Someone just asked to be a guest. Yes, 2 people. You're on. You will host. We'll do the show next Wednesday. So between now and then, send me an email so we can develop our style and questions and how 2 of us are going to interact without. And does North Korea really have more nuclear capabilities? Not sure. And do they have the potential to deliver? A lot of mystery involved in these things. However, these are our governments are making decisions. And I do have another suggestion. Don't vote into office individuals who don't support your views. If you don't agree with, then there are local elections. And then there are national elections are coming up. We have to look at the House and the Senate. What are the people running saying about Iran, about North Korea? What are they saying about us as individuals? What are the politicians saying about our rights as individuals? Again, taking pot shots at each other and drawing lines hasn't helped. What I would like is more discussion, more forum. And that's why I'm here on TikTok, but it's very one-sided. The best most of you can do is write a line. However, next Wednesday, as many of you want to join with me, we'll all go on. However, what I'm not going to do is to have you join now. I don't know your style. I don't know how much respect you have for another person's opinion. There's lots of things. I don't know how you'll treat me. You know how I'll treat you because you've seen it. And to get on and rant and rave is not my goal. My goal is to have a discussion. I want to hear how you arrived at your position. That's what I want to do. I've already served my time. So in terms of going to fight, you'll support me. And tough decision about sending people into war. And I don't want others to die for me. And one of the things we're watching right now is it's entirely an air war. When no ground troops are yet involved, no one's invading anyone yet. We'll have to wait and see what the outcome is. Serious business, not to be taken lightly. 4 times. No Israeli soldiers. Not sure what Navy. Let's get back to Costco. And if the United Nations did its job, then Israel wouldn't be bombing Iran. Israel wouldn't have invaded Gaza. Hamas wouldn't be sending missiles into Israel. Terrorists wouldn't be all over the known universe. Unfortunately, the UN became politicized. It became the tool of other countries. It became anti-American, not just anti-Israel. Make no mistake, the UN's anti-America. It's not there for world peace. It became a forum for individuals and countries to gang up on other countries. Look at Africa. Africa is a perfect example of how the UN has failed. Putting aside the West Bank, putting aside Gaza, the UN failed there as well. But we're watching the UN fail in Africa. No, good idea, but it hasn't been implemented properly. Tough decisions, tough choices, hard to watch. It'd be much better if Israel never had to invade Gaza. It would have been much better if Israel never had bombed Iran. We'd all be better off. The world would be better off. But some politicians and officials decided that was the route. Now, how do we live with it and each other? And that's why I want to bring up Costco. A forum, a place that we can go without beating up each other, without attacking each other, without shooting each other. I've always supported a 2-state solution. I've always believed in a state of Israel and a country of Palestine, both recognizing the right of the other one to exist. Not one country saying, you don't have a right to exist, we're going to destroy you. That's not going to work. Egypt doesn't say that. Jordan doesn't say that. Saudi Arabia doesn't say that. Now, the Saudis were about to have normal relationships with Israel. And I believe that was one of the reasons why Iran goaded, supported, and had Hamas do what they did in Israel to disrupt Israel and Saudi Arabia having normal political relations. That's what started all this in process. So if we're going to have a Palestine, it has to start by recognizing the right of Israel to exist. And then Israel recognizing the right to Palestine. That's what I want. That's what I believe. That's what I see as a solution. But not pithy statements and throwing things out as if that's going to... And murdering 2 young Jewish people didn't create a Palestine. And it won't. It won't happen. And it hasn't. And all the terror and the bombing and the missiles hasn't created a Palestine. So, let's step back and let's have civil conversation with each other. And it's not even a matter of agreeing to disagree without understanding each other. And also, by voting in power politicians and their sole platform is they are wrong. Let's throw them out of the United States. They don't deserve to have medical care. They don't deserve to be free. Let's take away... Voting these people in office is not going to make things better, and eventually they're going to come for all of us. History has taught us that whenever we support a government that makes them into the enemy, and I'm not one of them, eventually I am one of them throughout the entire history of the known universe. So make no mistake, If you're supporting a politician and they're taking away the rights or attacking someone and you're not in that group, when they finish with that group, you'll be next because you'll have an idea. You'll want medical care. You'll want something, and they don't want to give it to you, and you'll be next. And that's what happens. After a while, they don't need you. So we want to be really careful about who we support, and we want to have civil discourse. We want to talk with each other. We want to hear the bell at Costco. The rotisserie chickens are ready. You go back there, and lo and behold, people queue up, people take turns, people will hand you a chicken. It really is a very nice experience. People aren't pushing and shoving. People aren't looking at your T-shirt and saying, you can't have a chicken because I don't agree with what your T-shirt says. Never seen it. The same thing applies to dress, to people's skin color, to hair. I have never seen any discrimination in Costco by the staff or by people who are shopping there. I've always seen respect, kindness, even when they're giving free samples. I've seen people move aside. I've seen people let in. I've seen people talk to each other. All I'm asking for is we do the same thing when we're not in Costco. And not just accusing people or charging. That's why I invite everyone to my YouTube. That's why I invite everyone to my Zoom to talk to each other. And I'm inviting you to talk to each other. And also to listen to people who you don't agree with, to hear what they're saying and just don't dismiss them. Well, and now a word from our sponsor. Book sales are down. So, How to Be Jewish in 30 Seconds. This will answer your questions about conversion. This will answer your questions about myself, because I wrote it. See? Available at Barnes & Noble online, Amazon online, your independent bookseller. So you can pick up a copy of How to Be Jewish in 30 Seconds. If you'd like to learn more, my YouTube channel is The Rabbi and I. My podcasts are The Rabbi and I and The Wisdom of Rabbi Block. And the invite goes out. Let's get together and let's each of us discuss why bombing Iran's a bad idea, why we should bomb North Korea, why bombing North Korea is a bad idea. There are two topics. Let's talk about religious beliefs. Where did how did I develop my beliefs, and how did you develop your beliefs? I want to hear it. We can share. That's my goal this evening. And carpet bombing Gaza, I'm totally against. I'm totally against what's been going on in Gaza. I've said it over and over again. You can go to my YouTube channel. You can see my position on Gaza. You can go to my podcast. You can hear my position on Gaza over and over again. Don't agree with it. But just because I don't agree with one thing a government does, it doesn't mean I'm against everything, nor does it mean I'm for everything. Piece by piece. And that's what I'm asking us to do in terms of local politicians, local government. Let's have a forum. Let's have discussion. Let's talk to each other. Therein lies world peace. Costco. Let's act like we're all shopping in Costco and we're not fighting over the last item like I've seen people do at some other stores. Let's see if there are any final questions. Yes, and to see that Israel and some of its decisions reflect back on all of us badly, especially those of us have no say in what Israel's doing, no control over what's Israel doing, no matter what nasty things people may say. Well, our 30 minutes are up. Thank you for joining me. Stay safe, and I look forward to my co hosts next Wednesday night.